Good morning, Carsonville Bridge.
Good morning.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Say happy birthday, Jack.
Happy birthday, Jack.
My birthday just
Aw, happy birthday, Jack.
710 years old now.
Wow, that all?
Today's your birthday?
Yesterday.
Happy birthday, Jack.
71. I'm catching up on you, Al. You're holding what, 74?
It's 75.
Yeah, you're 75 and holding, so I'll catch you in a few more years.
There you go. Keep it up.
Women can hit birthday numbers and hold. I don't see why we can't also.
Yeah.
You
can.
say the best 10 years of a woman's life is between 29 and 30.
Yeah, but we were so dumb then.
Right, who wants to be 29 again? Good grief.
No, Maya doesn't like my joke when I say that.
50.
You know, back in the 40s and 50s, that's what women did. They wouldn't tell you their age, they just say 29, 29.
Aged wine.
Huh?
I don't play
Aged
numbers.
wine.
Yeah,
Takes
yeah.
it older.
I'm 29, I'm 29.
Me too.
That's why the best 10 years is between 29 and 30. Okay.
15.
So, anyway, I'm not really 71. I'm just celebrating my, let's see, 59th, 12th birthday.
Hey,
Somewhere.
He wants to be 12 again.
I never got past, I hit 12 and locked up and stopped right there.
No way.
Why do I believe that?
Because I'm just like a kid. I want to play, have fun. It's my problem all my life. I just want to have fun.
Yeah, that is
Two different people who were my friends who didn't know each other, each gave me a T-shirt, and the shirt on the wording on the shirt said, "He who dies with the most toys wins." Two people gave me that shirt,
that's good.
so that was me. Toys all over the place. That's the only difference between men and boys is the size and expense of their toys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, this past week, from the sundown of the 25th until the sundown of January the 1st, was the 8 days of Hanukkah. And last week, we had my annual big long teach about the Maccabean revolt against the Greek Empire and what all they had to go through and all the battles they fought. Far outnumbered and far out armed, and still won the battles over and over again.
May God.
And it was all God, right? God had to be in it. There's no way God could have not been in it for 3,000 or 4,000 to go up against 60 or 70,000 and whip them.
Right.
That's just mathematically impossible. But with God, all things are possible. And the fear of God would hit them after 3,000 killed about 3,000 or 4,000. The rest of them said, "Okay, we're out of here. Call them. Oh, we'll come back." Even they came back with over 100,000 troops with 12 elephants and all this cavalry and so everything. Still got whooped again. Whooped them again, Josie. And the Maccabee boys, 4 of them fought and won every one of these battles. They whipped up on the Hezbollah and they whipped up on Hamas, Syria and Gaza, where the Philistines were. They fought the Syrians and the Philistines. Same people. This is 2,100 some years ago, right? Same folks. It's plaguing them right now today. Same ones. But there's more to Maccabees that I decided I was going to dig into and see what else is in there. And there is some serious stuff in here that, for the life of me, I can't understand why. There's 3 books of Maccabees. I haven't read all of it yet, but I'm working my way through it. Why this wasn't in the Bible? Because it's every bit as glorious as Judah praying an angel going out and killing 185,000. Those kinds of miracles. And we're going to talk about some miracles today. They're not recorded in the Bible, but involve the people that we know about in the Bible. So in the second book of Macabees, chapter 1, starting in verse 18, if you want to turn to your Apocrypha.
I should know it with me.
Yeah, I don't know what he has that.
Second Maccabees 1:18. Since on the 25th day of Kislev, we shall celebrate the purification of the temple. That's Hanukkah. We thought it necessary to notify you in order that you may celebrate the festival of booths. What's that?
Tabernacles.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell about this later.
Okay. That's tabernacles, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're talking about tabernacles here in Maccabees. And the festival of fire given when Nehemiah, who built the temple and the altar, offered sacrifices. What? Festival of fire in Nehemiah? What's that?
Festival of fire?
I never heard of that. For when our ancestors were being led captive to Persia, the pious priest of that time took some of the fire of the altar and secretly hid it in a hollow of a dry cistern, where they took such precautions that the place was unknown to anyone. But after many years had passed, when it pleased God, Nehemiah, having been commissioned by the king of Persia, sent the descendants of the priests who had hidden the fire to get it. Is this in Nehemiah anywhere?
No.
No. Talking about it though. And when they reported to us that they had not found fire, but only a thick liquid, he, Nehemiah, ordered them to dip it out and bring it. When the materials for the sacrifices were presented, Nehemiah ordered the priest to sprinkle the liquid on the wood and on the things laid upon it. When this had been done, and some time had passed, and when the sun, which had been clouded over, shone out, a great fire blazed up, so that all marveled. And while the sacrifice was being consumed, the priests offered prayer. The priests and everyone. Jonathan, that's the Maccabee, led, and the rest responded, as did Nehemiah. The prayer was to this effect: O Lord, Lord God, creator of all things, you are awe-inspiring and strong and just and merciful. You alone are King and are kind. You alone are bountiful. You alone are just and almighty and eternal. You rescued Israel from every evil. You chose the ancestors and consecrated them. Accept this sacrifice on behalf of all your people, Israel, and preserve your portion and make it holy. Gather together our scattered people. Really. Set free those who are slaves among the Gentiles. Look on those who are rejected and despised, and let the Gentiles know that you are our God. Punish those who oppress and are insolent with pride. Plant your people in your holy place, as Moses promised. They're praying for the return of the Jews to come back that have been scattered to the four winds. Verse 30. Then the priests sang the hymns, and the materials of the sacrifice had been consumed. After the materials of the sacrifice had been consumed, Nehemiah ordered that the liquid that was left should be poured on large stones. When this was done, a flame blazed up, but when the light from the altar shone back, it went out. When this matter became known, and it was reported to the king of the Persians, then in the place where the exiled priests had hidden the fire, the liquid had appeared, in which Nehemiah and his associates had burned the materials of the sacrifice. The king investigated the matter and enclosed the place and made it sacred. Really? The Persian king decided this place was sacred. And when those persons whom the king favored exchanged many excellent gifts, Nehemiah and his associates called this Nephar, which means purification, but by most people it is called Naphtha. Wow. That's pretty impressive. God was around He was around this time of day for some reason. He hadn't gone completely. He showed up when it mattered. Second Maccabees chapter 2, verse 1. One finds in the records that prophet Jeremiah ordered those who were being deported to take some of the fire as had been mentioned, and that the prophet, after giving them the law, instructed those who were being deported not to forget the commandments of the Lord, or be led astray in their thoughts on seeing the gold and silver statues and their adornment. And with other similar words, he exhorted them that the law should not depart from their hearts. He's giving this advice to the captives that are being taken to Babylon. Right? Verse 4. It was also in the same document that the prophet, having received an oracle, ordered that the tent and the ark should not follow with him, and that he went out to the mountain where Moses had gone up and had seen the inheritance of God. Jeremiah took the tent, ark, tent and the ark, yeah, and took them up to Mount Sinai. Let's see, is that right? Yeah. Took it to Mount Sinai. Jeremiah came and found a cave dwelling, and he brought there the tent and the ark and the altar of incense. There's three things. Then he sealed up the entrance. Some of those who followed him came up intending to mark the way, but could not find it. When Jeremiah learned of it, he rebuked them and declared, "The place shall remain unknown until God gathers his people together again and shows his mercy. Then the Lord will disclose these things, and the glory of the Lord and the cloud will appear, as they were shown in the case of Moses, and as Solomon asked that the place should be specially consecrated." And what it says in Solomon? So when they consecrated the temple, that the cloud came and the priest could not minister because of the cloud.
Yeah,
Remember that?
yeah.
That's what he's talking about here. And that Jeremiah hid these things. Sealed up. They would not be revealed. The place shall remain unknown until God gathers his people together and again shows his mercy. That means those things are still out there.
Yeah, there's still missing.
Wow.
If this is true, and there will be revealed at the right time when God is ready, the Israelites are going to find those items because God's going to reveal it to them. Man, this is like, wow. We always wondered, where did it go? What happened to the ark and all that? This tells it plainly right here. Second Maccabees, chapter 3. Simon came into disagreement with the high priest Onias concerning a large sum of money being deposited in the temple. He went to Apollonius of Tarsus to file a complaint. Apollonius appointed Heliodorus to go and seize the money. In response to this evil play, the high priest and the whole town cried out to God with great supplication. Simon was an evil man, and he was trying to take on the high priest. The temple was basically being used as a bank. People were putting their money there because the temple's already a secure place, probably under guard, so they were using it as a bank. I never heard this before. Okay? Verse 22. While they were calling upon the Almighty Lord that he would keep what had been entrusted safe and secure for those who had entrusted him, Heliodorus went on with what had been decided. But when he arrived at the treasury with his bodyguard, then and there the sovereign of spirits and of all authority caused so great a manifestation that all who had been so bold as to accompany him were astounded by the power of God and became faint with terror. For there appeared to them a magnificently caparisoned horse with a rider of frightening mane. It rushed furiously at Heliodorus and struck at him with its front hooves. Its rider was seen to have armor and weapons of gold. 2 young men also appeared to him, remarkably strong, gloriously beautiful, and splendidly dressed, who stood on either side of him and flogged him continuously, inflicting many blows on him. When he suddenly fell to the ground and deep darkness came over him, his men took him up